pomeriggio. Welcome to Clelia's Cucina Italiana. Today we're going to be doing another wonderful dish that I think you're really going to love. This is a pork tenderloin, which was opened up like this, cut up. You can have the butcher do it, you can do it yourself, you know, just keep cutting it. But I had the butcher do. I have a nice friend that does all the things that I ask him. He's a very, very nice butcher. So anyway, so we opened it up. I don't know if you can see this, and I'm gonna pound it like that. And to that, I'm gonna stuff it, and this is called pancetta, which is the Italian version of bacon, but not really, because this is cured actually. It's like prosciutto. You can actually eat this like this. So what we're gonna do with this, we're going to brown it a little bit, just saute it before we put it in. Okay? And in the package is usually about, a whole package is usually about 3 ounces or so, which means about 10 slices, which is fine for this. So you would use 1 package for each of these, okay? And and it's cut very, very thin, just like you would prosciutto. But I mean, it has a different taste than prosciutto, especially when you stuff it in something. It has more flavor than prosciutto would. Okay, the flavor is more intense. You can tell I really love this, can you? It's really good. Okay, so we're just going to brown it a little bit. Not really crispy, but golden, until you see it a little bit curled up. Okay? This is really flavorful the way it is. But by browning it a little bit, I think it enhances the flavor. Okay, so we have the pancetta we're going to stuff it with, and we're going to put some dried figs. I just have a few here, just 1 or 2, not too much. Okay? And you take the little stem and you just slice it like this, sideways, so you get the inside. And these are nice. Try to find some that are nice and soft. These were really nice. You don't want them to be too dry. You want them to be a little bit moist. Okay? And to that, we also gonna add some nice gorgonzola cheese. And I'm going, yeah, you know, like that, because this is so delicious. The pancetta, the gorgonzola, and the figs, the sweetness of the fig, with the sharpness of the cheese, it gives a real delicious flavor. I really urge you to try it with the gorgonzola. If you really, really hate it, use a sharp cheese, okay, that will melt, okay? But try it like this first. I think you're gonna like it. I know I always tell you that, but I'm telling you, it's the truth. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now, with that, we should really let it cool off a little bit, but let's make believe this is cooled off, because we don't have too much time, okay? And we're just gonna put it like that. Just gonna get the fork, because it's a little hot. And we just scatter it like this all over. And 1 package is actually good enough for this. And this pork tenderloin, usually they come pretty much, not too big, not too small, about that size. That's actually a big one. Sometimes they're a little bit smaller. But this is enough for 4 to 6 people, really. And you know, also depends on what else you serve with it. Okay, so we're all set here. We just make sure it's all covered. This is so good. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna add a few little pieces, not too much of these figs, like 1.5 fig, okay? Like that. That's good enough. And then we're gonna add some of this delicious gorgonzola cheese. Oh, so good. And usually they have like 6 ounces, 8 ounces, you know. And make sure you take the skin off. This is very creamy. And you know, you can put about 4 to 6 ounces, I'd say. All right. And also with the gorgonzola, they have the sweet and they have the sharp. You want the sharp, especially for stuffing, because it really gives it a nice, nice flavor. You think we got enough? I think we got enough. And then we're going to roll this. Make sure we get everything in. Like that. Nice and tight. Okay, like that. And here, a little trick. I have some cooking twine here, and I'm going to, I usually like to keep it in the drawer because it keeps rolling, and it comes out, it's easier than the container. Usually the container that it comes in, it gets stuck. So we're just gonna do this. I'm just going to roll it right around. Like that. Make sure it's nice and tight too, so the stuff doesn't come out. Like so. Okay. Like that. And if you want something to hold it, you can put a skewer to hold it while you're rolling it until you get used to it, okay? But the twine, I like to use the twine because you can just cut it and then you just unroll it and it comes right out. You don't have to worry about how many you have. And it's easier to do it in the frying pan because a lot of times they get on the way, the skewers sticking out, and it's hard to brown it. Okay, we made it. Okay, so now what we're going to do, in the same frying pan that we browned the pancetta, we're going to put them in and brown them a little bit. We put this pretty much on high, okay, because we want it to sear, okay? We're going to try and brown this all over. So while you were looking, I just sprinkle a little bit of flour on top of the roast so it gives it a nice golden color, okay? You can roll it with a little bit of flour, but since I forgot to do it, you just can sprinkle some over it while it's frying, and it's okay. Or, I mean, you can also skip it too. I mean, you know, it's not a, you know, a must. Okay, so we're gonna turn off the gas and put them in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes or so, okay? And make sure that you have a frying pan that you can put in the oven. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we're gonna chop some parsley here to put on top of the meat to make it look nice. Take the stems out. Like so. And I'll show you the meat when it's done. Take this out, and in here, in the same frying pan, so we get all the nice bits, I put one little shallot, okay? And we're gonna brown that a little bit while the meat is cooling off before we slice it, okay? And that looks like it's done pretty good. And to that we add about maybe a cup of wine, white wine, dry white wine. Okay, here we go. Some nice dry white wine. And we scrape all these nice bits here. We let that evaporate a little bit. In the meantime, by doing this, putting the wine, we clean the pan that way too. It cleans up all the bits of the pan. And to that we add a little salt. And a little pepper. And I'm gonna add a little bit of these delicious green peppercorns. I'm gonna just add like maybe a tablespoon. That adds to the flavor. Maybe like 1 tablespoon. Okay, that's good. That's about 1 tablespoon. Okay, and that's doing pretty good. And keep that on high while, you know, the wine evaporates. Okay, and to that we're gonna add maybe about a half a cup of heavy cream. That's a half a cup. Okay, there we go. We're going to add a little bit of butter so it makes the sauce a little more flavorful and thicker. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to slice the meat. And you make the slices like, you know, fairly not too thin. Okay? Look at the beautiful inside here. See all the stuffing and the cheese that you can see? Oh, looks, it's cooked just perfect. Like that. We're going to add some nice sauce right on it. And like I said, just put a little bit of sauce and then you can serve some on the side. Like that. And it's so nice and moist that you really don't even need it. And here we have it. We're going to put a little bit of parsley to dress it up. And that's it. Doesn't that look yummy? Until next time, this is Clelia. Buon appetito e arrivederci alla prossima volta. Now, try this because that really is delicious. Ciao!